I was a 10-year-old when this happened. My family was going out to pick some food and I wanted to stay home. I stayed with my brothers Thomas and Ryan. We all have WWE still to this day. We were playing like always. I chose Roman Reigns and my brothers chose Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins to make it a Shield match. I speared Thomas and Ryan curb stomped me and pinned me. We share the same room, so we went in our room and watched Monday Night Raw. I heard a sound and told my brothers. We got scared and heard a tap on the next room's window. We hid in the closet and left it open a bit. Then suddenly I heard a loud bang on the door. I was scared and we went to get the phone on the drawer and called our family. They said they would be there in about 5 minutes and should call the cops, which I did, and before I could finish I heard the door fall. Thomas started to get scared and cry. I was scared and I covered Thomas's mouth. The police came and the back door slammed and I saw the guy and took a quick picture. It was dark, but you could still see him. Our parents came and we were so scared and hugged us. The cops saw where the guy went when I showed them the picture. A few days later they called and said they got him, and I got a picture of what he looked like, and it wasn't the same guy, and I said it wasn't. We moved out soon after, and I came back to the house with them both and we saw a shadowy figure. It stared and we booked it. I looked back to see it outside and just saw and knew it was the same guy. I was scared and called the police. They got the guy and now I am living a peaceful life with my family. All I have to say is, never stay home alone and stay with someone, or always have your parents' number on 911 right on your phone when you open it. My childhood friend had an underground pool that I loved. Even though I didn't know how to swim, it was always the highlight of my summer. The deep end was always off limits, for obvious reasons. When we weren't playing Mario Kart on the GameCube, on warm and sometimes colder days, we'd wade around in the shallow end playing games and pretending to be mermaids. It was all great fun until I met my demise. I've always been a pretty impulsive person, and as a child I really overestimated myself. One day I was feeling particularly anxious to splash in the blue gold. I threw my towel on the ground and ran as fast as I could. My friend screamed, "No! My mum's not here yet!" Disregarding her, I jumped in anyway. Where I landed was merely inches to a foot from the shallow end. Being a small child, it was already over my head. I started falling down the slippery incline. There must have been an algae film on the bottom. Walking and jumping back to the shallow end wasn't a possibility, so I started thrashing my body and limbs. Water filled my lungs as I started screaming for my friend's help. She didn't know how to swim either. I didn't see her, but I'm sure she was horrified watching a friend die right in front of her. Everything started tunneling to black, then flashed to white. Next thing I knew, I was transported from my friend's backyard. Facing away from the pool, I watched EMTs run past me. I couldn't remember what happened or where I was. It felt like I woke up from a terrible dream, right into another dream. After I started to follow the EMTs, they grew further and further away until I couldn't see them anymore. Tall golden grasses took place of everything around me. I quickly turned around in confusion. A colossal sycamore tree that wasn't there before stood firmly planted. A booming voice that seemingly emanated from the tree said to me, "Hello, you're probably confused. I'm sorry to tell you, but you are dead." I started screaming and crying, as I remembered everything as soon as he said it. Broken by a fit of short breath, I said, "What? They didn't save me?" The mysterious voice replied, "They tried, but they couldn't." Feverishly, I exclaimed, "How? I'm only 8. The tree told me, "Everything eventually dies. Trees, animals, fish, etc. But no one really dies. Everything has a soul. It goes on living, just on a different plane. At 8, I didn't understand the concept of alternate realities. He went on to tell me, you will go on living your life in a different reality, but the reality that you left, you will be dead in that world. Too distracted by the whole situation, I didn't think about my family. As soon as I imagined my family learning about me dying, my already piercing cries got louder. Since you were without evil, you get a wish for the next reality. The voice said in what I assumed was an effort to comfort me. That doesn't make me feel any better, I said. It replied, it's not meant to make you feel better. After a failed pleading attempt to bring me back, I faced the fact that I had no options here other than a wish. I'm not sure how much time passed until I decided my wish. My cries stopped and I wiped my face and proclaimed, I want to remember this. A short pause as I thought about my wish. I want to remember my old life. The omniscient voice approved my wish. He explained, you will remember years from now. You can't tell anyone. Why? I asked. They will not believe you. They will think you're sick. I do not remember being reborn. Time's passed, I'm 20 now, and flashes of my old life have been leaking into my conscious mind for years. Chalking it up as just dreams remembered, I blew it off. But a few months ago, it all hit me like a semi-truck. Everything's so vivid. My deaf and fragmented memories of my old life. I'm not of this reality. If you're reading this and I am dead, y'all have treated me well, never overstepping your place as a foster family. Since I know there is one question y'all have always wanted an answer to, I will answer that question finally. What I say next I promise is true. So this is how I knew the girl that showed up and later became my wife. So here is how I met her. I woke up dazed and confused. How did I get halfway down the hallway? My head felt heavy. I could feel the carpet under my feet warming its way between my toes. The house was cold, brutally cold. My dad hated the cold, so the house always stayed at 75. Something was off. I looked around. Everything seemed normal, walls filled with family portraits. Nightstand was against the right side with the lamp. As I started to relax, I heard it. The sound was weak, but my brain connected the sound to wet. I stepped slowly down the hall, the wet sound growing. I couldn't stop myself, even though fear crawled up my spine and burrowed into my mind. The sound now more clear as the stairs came into light. It was rhythmic, wet, but kept a constant pace. Without even noticing, I was now already on the third step down. As I reached the bottom, my foot slid on the wet wood floor, crashing to the hard oak floor. I looked down, now facing the steps. A shimmer of light danced across the puddle of blood, shock overriding the pain from the fall. I suddenly noticed a shadow flicker. Carefully I leaned onto my right side, horror now almost stopping my heart. I gasped. A girl in a white gown holding a knife was stabbing someone. Blood painted the carpet in the living room. Before I could even react, a hand thrust again towards the body. When the knife stops inches from the body, she turned around, her eyes locked on mine, like she knew I was there the whole time. My face went pale. The way she turned her body let me see the person she brutally murdered. My father lay there, a look of fear concerted on her face. I bolted back, but was stopped by a hand rapidly grasping my shoulder. A face crept into my peripheral view. It was hers, the long black hair waving against my arm. My eyes locking onto the now complete dead body, my father's. My body suddenly shook from her breath hitting my left ear. She whispered, "You're safe now." I woke in a cold sweat, breathing heavily, sitting up against the bed frame, trying to catch my breath. A tiny creak caused my head to snap to my door. A voice floated. "No crawled into the room, I told you. You'll be safe." I saw the tiny pale hand slither away from between the opening. Her last words, barely vocal, "I'll be seeing you." So there you have it. That's how I met her and became an orphan from an abusive father. So please treat her well. After all, my last wish was for her to watch over y'all. Hello guys, I've just got something to talk to you about before I end this video. Well, I've noticed that my gaming videos haven't really been working on this channel that very well. And I've always wanted to be a horror narrator. So, I'm no longer Beans Gaming. I'm now Unknown Entity. And I will be releasing 2 videos a week. On what days, I don't know. We will have to decide that later on. I feel that if I keep to 2 videos a week doing narration, it frees up a lot of my time. And it can take my channel in another direction. So, I am new to this. Don't criticise too much, because I am trying to find my narrative voice. Because we all have unique narrative voices. So, leave the comments down below and what points that I can improve on. And that way I'll be able to get better in doing my narration. Because I do want to be big like Corpse Husband, Creeps McPaster, even though it's sad to say, you know, that he was robbed or whatever. But you know, Maker, Corpse Husband, Creeps McPaster, I want to be like them. They have inspired me to become a horror story narrator. So like I said guys, please send in the feedback in the comment section down below. I am now Unknown Entity. I am no longer Beans Gaming. My gaming videos in the past will still be up there, but there won't be any more. Unless it's horror themed, like Resident Evil, Outlast. If it's horror based, then I will do live streams or do a separate series. But this channel is now going to be in the direction of horror story narrating only. So I hope you enjoy this. Please like and subscribe. Also, if you want to send in your own horror stories of your true encounters, you can email me at deaconthompson12332@gmail.com. If you can put in the title of what type of story it is, so if it's camping, then put camping encounters. If it's workplace, then put in workplace. If it's home alone, then just put home alone. So I can title the videos to that. I will be at the end of each video putting my contact details at the end of each video. So if you do decide to send them in, you can always pause the video when it gets to the text at the end of every video, and you can get my email up and you can start submitting your stories. I am going to now do quality over quantity, but I am aiming to do 2 videos a week. If I can't do 2 videos a week, there will be definitely 1 a week. Okay? But my aim is to do 2 a week. That is my goal. Alright? So anyway, I am the unknown entity. And remember, it's always scarier if these turn out to be true.